Johnny Depp has become a household name across generations, be it for his iconic roles in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in Wonderland, and most notably Pirates of the Caribbean. He's known to the world as an eccentric and comical actor slash producer slash musician. In more recent years, our eyes were all on Mr. Depp when his reputation was once again placed on the chopping block with the Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard trial. In 2020, Depp lost a UK libel lawsuit on allegations of domestic abuse against the Sun newspaper, a British tabloid, but won a similar lawsuit against his now ex-wife Amber Heard 2 years later in a US courtroom. In the aftermath, Depp would be resigning from multiple brand endorsements and movie franchises as corporate heads opted to cut him off, aside from a select few. This event has allowed the international audiences to see Depp as just your average Joe and ask, who is Johnny Depp behind the screen? Is there more to the swashbuckling actor we've watched and adored? To answer this question, we will be using the different theories discussed in the course to break down his character into understandable chunks.
In the philosophical perspective, anyone can see that Johnny Depp strives to live an authentic life. The idea of authenticity differs from person to person as we all go through chapter after chapter of our lives and enter new stages of maturity at different paces. Filming for his role as Officer Tom Handsome in 21 Jump Street, Depp admits to making attempts at getting out of his contract with the production company, dressing up in old clothes and speaking in tongues on set. For him, it was a weird thing not to be in control of your own image, he says. I remember saying to myself, man, when I'm free of this, I'm going to do only the things that I want to do. I'm going to go down whatever road I decide.
Johnny Depp's ambitions include to not give a single crap about what anyone thinks. No matter what happens, he doesn't seem to be repressed by any situation. By taking control over the situation, Depp would be able to have a more optimistic view on it. Regardless of what happens, his childhood experiences solidified this, as he has stated that it made him feel so much greater after not caring about those around him, and that seemed to affect him so severely. I promised myself that I would continue to move forward and do my best not to compromise in any way whatsoever. Not allow anyone to affect me in that way. Keep moving forward and do what you have to do, said Depp. He has always believed that one must continually pursue their dream. And to this day, all that he truly wants is for one to use their dreams and aspirations as their basis to push through. In order to achieve his full potential, Depp would set aside those who would hinder them.
During his rise in the Hollywood scene, Depp was known to go against what was expected of the male lead in his movies. During an interview in 2004, he admits that his agent at the time has been burdened with his quote-unquote willingness to be thought insane. And every time he took on another strange project, her bosses go, Jesus Christ, when does he do a movie where he kisses the girl? When does he get to pull a gun out and shoot somebody? When does he get to be a F-word man for a change? When is he finally going to do a blockbuster? Captain Jack Sparrow didn't kiss or shoot anybody. He actually kinda slayed and sashayed throughout most of the films. Unlike other male leads like James Bond or John Wick. But it was this whimsical nature that drove Depp's career in his early days as an actor.
Depp's past experiences have influenced the person he has become now. This includes the trauma he had experienced when he was young, such as from his parents' divorce and even his mom's beatings. He has been trying to gain a better understanding of the reasons for his dad's departure, but now he is at ease with his dad, even calling him a good man. Being a man himself who has undergone a number of breakups, it would not be out of the question to think that he has learned from his experience as a son in order to be a better father himself. Back in 2007, when his daughter was in critical condition as a result of an E. coli infection which caused her kidney to fail, Depp had stayed beside her bed in the hospital for weeks, not knowing her fate. After recovery of his daughter, he was grateful to the people who worked in the hospital that saved her life, which then led him to donate $2 million to the hospital. Not to mention, following the dreadful experience with his daughter, he began uplifting the spirits of other children in life-threatening conditions by visiting them dressed as Jack Sparrow. The man he is now would not have been possible without the past experiences that shaped him.
In the Oriental perspective, Depp is known to have engaged in charity work, such as donating to organizations in the past, like the Children's Hospice and Palliative Care Coalition and the Helen and Douglas House. He has also visited children's hospitals, both physically and virtually, while dressed as Jack Sparrow in order to cheer up and fulfill the dreams of children with life-shortening illnesses who have always wanted to meet him. In addition, back in 2008, he had donated his film's earnings to the daughter of the late Heath Ledger, an actor in the movie The Dark Knight, who had passed away before the film had been completed. And Depp also stepped in to help see the film's completion, even without one actor. Although Depp does not associate himself with a particular religion, his actions of lessening the sufferings of others are in line with the teachings of Buddhism and in achieving a higher state of being, which calls for not only the awareness of oneself, but also of others.
Next, we will look into all aspects of the self discussed in class in connection to Johnny Depp. Though we must admit that some of the information in this report is not accurate nor entirely true. We can only gain so much valid information about him that is being shown online. Although we tried our best to remain objective and not misinterpret the limited information we could find about Depp's life, do take some of this with a grain of salt.
In terms of how Depp views his physical self, he has not explicitly stated or spoken publicly about the topic. Ergo, there is not much information to back up any claims made towards how he views himself in the physical sense. And as a result, unfortunately, there's not much we can say about this aspect of himself.
Depp was not raised in a religious family, and although he does not have any strong views against religion or the existence of higher being, neither is he a particularly religious person. One might consider him not as an atheist, but rather as agnostic. However, he is a faithful person in the sense that he has a great set of beliefs and faith that he lives by day to day, especially on what he considers as faith in his children. In a 2011 interview, he said, "I have faith that as long as you keep moving forward, just keep walking forward, things will be alright. Faith in terms of religion. Religion is not my specialty." He is not drawn into archetypal organized religions or any religious deities, since he believes that faith should be expressed more personally and intimately, rather than through compliances and public proclamation. That is why he prefers not to associate himself with any particular religion, but this does not stop him from having his own faith and belief systems. The economical self tries to look into how an individual treats their other material assets. In this case, Johnny Depp is well known to have starred in multiple famous films, which implies his salary must be high. But rather than investigate how much he makes, what's more important is how he uses the money for material assets. Based on the data and articles written on the internet, it describes Depp as a person who engages in lavish lifestyle. He not only has spent a lot of money on personal collections such as guitars and paintings, but has also spent a lot on houses, yachts, and even islands. With this, we could assume a few possibilities on how he views his material possessions. We could say that he is materialistic because, as stated, he has made a collection of items that certainly cost a lot of money, and he has also spent a lot of money on his significant others. But in terms of money rather than the possessions, it seems as though he does not manage it as well because reportedly he has been losing his fortune due to either mismanagement on his side or his management on the firm's side. But overall, in terms of his treatment towards material possessions, it seems as though it does not hold the money to be important, as shown in his unawareness to the mismanagement, but instead he focuses on what the money provides to his lavish lifestyle. It does not seem as though he views the monetary value of an object important. Rather, he views the objects and experiences themselves to be important. In terms of attachment to said objects, it could be implied that he indeed holds attachment to them considering he has collections, but he has never explicitly stated how he views the collections to a personal level.
In terms of a digital identity, Depp himself only has a limited amount of personal social media accounts, such as Instagram, TikTok, and even Discord. But said accounts are managed by social media managers rather than himself, acting as a medium to information dissemination. But with public figures, it can be found that their digital selves rather than being developed by them, is developed by people that follow them. With the internet being a place where people find themselves able to express their ideas and opinions, a mass of similar opinions towards a certain topic or person tend to form the identity on the digital platform. In this case for Johnny Depp, before the trial, he was mainly viewed and interpreted by the people through his acting roles, most famously for his portrayed personality from Pirates of the Caribbean. Although this may not accurately represent his individual self in real life, in this digital platform, his image is highly influenced by his previous roles and public opinion. During the court case, his fans and the general consensus of him has only risen. As during the trial, fans brought up how his roles and performances have shaped childhoods, thus associating the consensus with his identity. So in terms of branding, a lot of brands and franchises, including Pirates of the Caribbean, had opted to sever ties with him due to the court case and controversy.
Ready?
Now, we would like to dive in how Johnny Depp flourished. Well, there are past events that caused Johnny Depp to flourish, and we can assume that he's learned lots of stuff over the years. In an interview, Depp reveals what he learned from starring in 21 Jump Street. The plot, the casting, and the acting were revealed to be very formulaic. He expressed how important it was to start off in a big blockbuster like Jump Street because it was like jumping right into the corporate side of acting. Additionally, a young Depp experiences firsthand the labels media places on Hollywood persons, which he then made a goal of proving time and time again that you cannot put a label on the Depp way. We are not sure what started it, but Johnny Depp's charity work is an incredible example of selflessness and care for others. It's in line with what he said in an interview about his faith. Though not religious, he is a very faithful person, with many beliefs, one he even talked about with his children. Quote unquote, when they were little and asked me, "What is God?" I told them to look at the grass, take a deep breath, look up at the sky and clouds, and that was God. And to look in the mirror, and that was God too. I don't think that's very far off from the mirror. It seems that charity work helped him be more in tune with that side of himself. For him, God is in everything, and with his charity work, he has harnessed his faith to bring hope to those in need of it. Now that we know all that, we will now give our verdict. We can also say Johnny Depp has recently flourished by winning the court case. As stated in his statement publicly available on Instagram, he was able to show the world his truth and show that men are able to speak out and have themselves heard. But even in cases with a topic such as the one discussed, in this case, he has gained back his freedom and innocence. Also, due to the case, his professional career may have taken a turn for the worse. Now that it's concluded, he can make steps to rebuild and refurbish his career with different roles and possible ventures even. He can also take time to understand how much support he's actually received, not only from his personal contacts, but also from fans and people all over the world. Well, there is a general consensus favoring Depp over her. In terms of the other aspects, such as the economic self, perhaps he can take time to further understand the implications and importance of how he uses and manages his money. Doing so could possibly put him in a position to improve and make his lifestyle a healthier one in the long term.